All right, it's starting in a second. It's like, all
When are
right,
you gonna be able to post it?
all right, bear with me just a second. All right, Shalom. I'm here with my brother here, Ridge Nibbler, and we're just gonna, have a little conversation here. So you can go ahead and introduce yourself, Ridge.
Okay, is it
Yes,
recording now?
yes, right now.
Okay, so my name is Ridge Nappier. I have a YouTube channel, cover different conspiracy theories. Sometimes religious stuff from here and there, and true crime videos. So please go check that out.
And what do you want to have a conversation about? And I also will leave a link in the description box to your page, so you can, if anybody's interested, they can find you over there.
Yeah, so I want to have a conversation about why I believe now that Mystery Babylon is America. Which we've talked before. I used to promote it with the Vatican.
Okay, go ahead and tell us what made you change your mind.
So, it's really just a revelation that I had when, really around this 2020 election thing, because I've never seen nothing like it. I've always knew, that Trump was a puppet, and it was always in the back of my head that he was the Antichrist, right? Because, but whenever 2020 hit and this election hit, I was in complete shock. The Facebook posts I was seeing, I mean, this man is literally God to like half the country. They've made idols of him. They've made a God Emperor statue of him, a golden statue. They're openly worshiping Trump, and I think that it's funny that you think Trump's going to come in and stop the New World Order when the Bible states the New World Order is going to happen, so no man can stop
And
it.
I also want to point out, not to cut you off or anything, but I mean, to me, it's foolish to think that a man can become one of the most powerful men in the world, but yet be somehow not part of the secret society behind the scenes. It just doesn't make any logical
Exactly,
sense.
man.
You have to. Hey,
Exactly.
look. Hey, look, man. You got to be part of them in order to get into those positions of power. Anyway, go ahead and
any politician that's thought outside that went against the Illuminati's been killed pretty much, or at least attempted to be killed, right?
Yeah, I believe there was this one leader. I believe it was Gaddafi. I could be mistaken. You might know about that. But he got he got assassinated for trying to go against the system that they had set up. So you gotta be part of them, in order to to be part of it. And that's when you go into the scriptures, that's why it says in that great city that you saw is the city that reigns over the kings of the earth. And who is that?
Right.
Yeah, that's America.
Nobody that's gonna be president is not part of that, So the amount of idolatry that I've seen towards this guy, when it's to the point they're thinking that he can stop the New World Order, basically thinking that he can come in and put a shield over it, blocking the New World Order, and that he can prevent the Book of Revelation from happening. This is mind-blowing. Like, this is God. This is Jesus Christ to, like, half of America. And I've never seen nothing like it. There's one thing if you're some brain dead guy that supports Republicans to just go out and vote and say, I support a guy. Another thing to openly worship somebody and thinking he's going to save the world. So when I noticed this, and I really started noticing it, when the Facebook post I was seeing, I had a family member decide to unfriend me over Trump, basically, because I put up a post basically saying I find it funny how all these Jesus people support this guy, that Trump has the 7 deadly sins. I think that's obvious. He's had like 3 wives. He's prideful, envious, everything, right? So I just started noticing this, and it's like, I think he's the king that was and will be again. I don't think Joe Biden's going to be in office for too much longer, but point is, this is where America's at, where America's worshiping this guy as if he's Jesus Christ. And yes, I do believe that Trump is the Antichrist. I do believe he's going to come back into office. sometime from now, because I've never seen nothing like this. I know people.
All right. Now, sorry to cut you off, man, but I did want to, get into here. I'll respect your, your viewpoints on that. I will respect that. But I did want to ask you, because, some of the, viewers might be interested, like, if you look at what's going on right now, let's say, financially, what would your recommendations be about it? And what are your thoughts about what we see economically, going on, not only in the United States, but, around the world right now?
Yeah, my recommendation would be mainly that you should buy food and, stuff that you can store up, because, you can't eat silver or gold, so we're just hoping that people can accept silver or gold. Historically, it's been the accepted currency in a collapse. So I would say, you're kind of gambling when it comes to getting silver and gold, because, but yeah, get silver, get gold, try to get some more rare metals like platinum, palladium, and most importantly, try to store up on some food that can last you. There's stuff out there now that can last you, like 20 years?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've seen those, man. Those I believe, what are they called? Those freeze dried, food buckets. I mean, hey, look, they work, but I mean, damn, man, I'll tell you, man, those are damn expensive, man. I've seen some of those buckets. I believe they're like, I want to say maybe $250, $300. I mean, excuse my language. I mean, I can't. A poor ass bastard like myself, I can't afford that. You know what I mean? But there's other alternatives out there, like let's say for an example, the canned foods. A lot of people don't know, but those actually last a lot longer than the expiration date on the on the package. Like say for go ahead.
There's been YouTube videos, right, of people ordering stuff from like eBay that's like a century-year old, or like 40, 50 years old, and it's just gone when it's canned.
Oh, I've seen some of those. I've seen some of those online. They have those MREs and those older can reviews. The guys open it and eat it, and sees it's fine. So that just shows you. That just goes to show. And that was even back then. when the technology, wasn't as good as preserving the stuff. Compared to today.
So I think that's the best way to be. Like I said, historically, gold and silver in these situations has been what people's used, but people so used to paper money and stuff, sadly, I don't know if people is going to trade with gold or silver,
Yeah, like excuse me, as I said, brother, sorry if I, cut you off. It's a little slow for me, but anyway, I myself personally, invested, I want to say maybe $600, probably about $500-$600 in, some silver. Just to have that around, man, because, historically speaking, as you said, that's real money. Real money is not, this paper that we have. The only reason people use that is because they have, faith that, if they take that to somewhere, they can exchange it with somebody, but it's not, really worth anything. And another thing they also mention, sorry to cut you off, but another thing to mention real quick is, another good thing as well would be, some people can get land, cattle, the farm animals, those are going to be worth their weight in gold, man. Another thing as well is, herbs, spices, like say for an example, salt, you got to have that, man. Another one that I, personally stock up on is, water purification filters. I mean, hell, you can get, water purification filters. This one I have is called, the Life Straw. You guys might have seen it. It costs $20, and you just take that to the water wherever it is, and you can drink directly from it. So those kind of purchases are, on my, at least in my opinion, are very high on the list of things that should be got. Go ahead and you can speak.
It's time to get prepared. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I'm not one of those fear porn people that tomorrow's gonna be the end of the world. But I'm just saying it's time to get prepared, because like we're to the point now with, I think, the COVID-19 thing and everything, right?
Just say. Just for future reference, just say Corolla, inside joke.
Okay. Yeah. So we're to the point with that and everything else that things have just gotten so crazy that it won't surprise me if tomorrow we wake up and there's a whole financial collapse. You don't know what's coming. Expect the unexpected.
I mean, hell, I'll tell you, man. I mean, hell. You got one man, what is it? I believe it's Elon Musk. I believe he's the richest man in the world right now. What are those guys worth? Like $200 billion? So here it is, you have men that are worth...
I think that's Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. I believe Elon Musk is the I believe he's the number one richest man, just under, just above Jeff Bezos. But I'll have to look back into that. But it's crazy how you can have these people who have, hundreds of billions of dollars, but yet the average Joe, such as myself, I'll be lucky if I have $10 at the end of the week after you get your paycheck. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, it's absolutely insane, man. And there, certain families are way richer than them, but they distribute the wealth, with castles and stuff like, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, and then the bloodlines, the papal ones that were from Italy. It's nuts how rich these people are.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. As a matter of fact, it says, what is that? That's Psalms the 73rd chapter, man. They have more than the heart can wish. They have more than they could ever need. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, Ridge, we'll probably talk for maybe a good 20 more minutes or something, but I just want to ask you certain questions because it's been a little while since we last had a conversation. But I wanted to know what are your thoughts on let's say the mark of the beast or what's your thoughts on that?
Mark of the beast. I would say that there's a good chance it's going to be a microchip, but I don't think it's going to be limited to just being a microchip. So that's basically my opinion on that. I think that it most likely is going to be a microchip, but there's other technologies that.
That's always Let me rephrase myself. Trying to keep track of what I'm doing here. Got to hold the one phone in one hand, on the other one in the other. But anyway, man, I definitely agree. You seen what Rock's doing, man? That guy's going around talking about damn Sunday worship.
Oh, when's he been doing that? I haven't checked him out in a little while.
Last time I talked to him, that's what he was saying.
Oh.
That guy, just like my guy, remember that guy, Andrew Ashby? That guy got to be smoking Cracula or something. Inside joke.
The truth movement in general, I have total respect for Rock. But I'm just criticizing the FDA church, which from my understanding he's not part of that anymore. But I'm just saying that's a cult. There's this woman that's basically tied near the church, and it's kind of like Mormonism with Joseph Smith. Certain denominations see some other person as like a god or a Christ, and I don't agree with that,
Right. I hear you, man. Yeah. The 7-Day Adventist. Fun fact, by the way, I actually met, Jonathan, right, or Rock as he's also known. I actually met him, at one of those churches. So that's another story. I've mentioned it before, but it's just ironic. We met there at one of those down, and I believe it was Winter Haven, Florida, or something like that. But man, that guy, he don't know what the hell he's doing. What about Andrew Ashby? What are you faults on that guy for now?
I've noticed he's quit making videos. That shows me he never. Am I allowed to cuss on here? I feel like.
Oh yeah, you're cool, man. You're cool.
That shows me he never gave it down. Never gave a shit about spreading the truth. It was all about Mario and getting views. So.
Hey, look, man. Damn. He did what 900 individual videos of one man. Jesus, man. At this point, even emotes are snoring.
Yeah. So he don't care about the truth. There's thousands of other topics in the truth community, biblical community. He claims he's trying to stop pedophiles by calling Mario a pedophile. There's real pedophiles out there that he could be talking about, but no, he's just a creepy, obsessed weirdo. And I've asked him to debate me, and he plays dumb like he don't know.
Oh yeah, man. Hey, look, man. I'll tell you this, man. I've been asking him for probably about almost 5 years now to have a discussion with me, on, a civilized, 101 discussion, and he won't do it. He'll sit here, excuse my language, but he'll sit there and talk shit. That's something he's good at doing. He'll sit there and do that. But one thing he's not good at doing is actually engaging in a conversation. Even though he has the Google Hangouts, he won't engage in a conversation, a friendly, civilized conversation. He can't even do it.
He plays dumb saying he can't debate, yet I still remember when him and Rock Quantum were live on Google Hangouts together. So if he knows how to do that, he can well do a debate, but he knows that he would be absolutely destroyed in a debate.
Yeah, he get his ass kicked. Side joke.
Yeah, and by the way, that's not a threat. That's a metaphor. Because you remember the whole thing where he was trying to say Mario was making death threats to him.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I think he said that about you as well.
Oh yeah, he took a clip. He cut a clip out of a video, and it basically made it to look like we're saying something that it wasn't. If you watch the whole thing, yeah, you've seen it.
So yeah, Andrew Ashby is their false witness, and everything else. And the Loving Christian busted him for, well, me and the Loving Christian. I'm the one that showed him information. Loving Christian made the videos for what he was putting up on Instagram, flashing the Illuminati devil horns. And I said this before: if Mario would have done that, they would have never forgiven him. But when Andrew does it, and oh, it's okay, brother. It just goes to show the double standard. These people just despise Mario because they're creepy, obsessed stalkers.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. It's just guys are being respecters of persons, man.
Exactly.
It's we don't want to be like those guys. Just use them as examples of how not to be. As I personally would like to say. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So what else is on your mind, man? What else you want to speak about on here?
Yeah, I guess I'll just finish the last bit I had to say about our first topic on here. With Trump and all that is that there's always been people that idolize basically every politician, but I've never seen nothing like this with him. So, I mean, that's why I'm led to believe he's the devil, the Antichrist.
Right, man. How is let me ask this, because you're in I believe, what is it, Louisiana or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, how is the whole Corolla situation going on down there right now?
I'm actually kind of proud to say this, but a lot of people in Louisiana just don't listen to it. They don't wear the mask. They just don't care, because I could do a whole rant on the mask, but yeah, it's not really a problem anymore.
I remember this one time, man, when I went down to to Florida, because we were moving from there. This was probably about when it was in the first maybe like 2 months, we'll say. What they did is 1 week everybody had to wear their mask, but then the next week they did not have to wear it when they went into places. And look what happened to them. Here we are, a year and some time later, and now they all had to wear it again. But it just shows, man, the stupidity of certain of these people out here, man. One week they'll wearing it, the next week they'll take it off because they're told that they can, and now they've been wearing it for a whole damn year.
Yeah, these maniacs. I mean, what do you call them? They just believe whatever their government tells them.
Right, knucklehead but positron, inside joke.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, have you watched? Let me see, what was that channel? What are your thoughts on the Loving Christian right now? What do you have to say about him for now?
I mean, I have nothing but positive things to say. From my understanding, he hasn't made a single penny off of YouTube, and I would say he's literally put thousands of hours worth into his content. So
right.
I would say he just has an unbelievable work ethic, but he hasn't been appreciated enough as he should, which I don't think any of us have. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for my subscribers and fan base. I mean, we're bigger than most YouTubers,
Right.
I've gotten gifts before, so I'm very thankful, but I'm just saying we're not as appreciated as we should because these days people they'd rather see some whore twerking on TikTok than actual intellect. So.
Oh, you know how it is, man. You know how it is. If a video like that get 1 million views, if not, but then a video, let's say let's just pick for an example, about history or something like that, that'll maybe get at most
Yeah.
100,000 views, if not even that. But yet the other one will
Yeah,
get
and
a million. You know what I'm saying? That's just what you got going
yeah,
on right now.
I've said this before, but we would be a lot bigger on YouTube if it wasn't for the Nazis on running YouTube, taking our videos down. I mean, like I said, I've had a video got up to 70,000 views, 36,000. Some with 10,000.
Oh, I hear you, man. I've had a couple. I believe I got this one. Yeah, a few years ago I had this one that got like I want to say maybe 30,000 in the first like 18 hours that it was up. You remember that?
Yeah, and I mean that's basically a semi-viral video. I mean, that's what most YouTubers dream of. But there we go. I mean, YouTube is just removing our content.
Yeah, and it's funny, man, because somebody the other day pointed something out that there was a video that was actually entitled as a music video. I believe it was called, that it was called "I Hate You" or something like that. But that can stay up there though. That's not considered hate speech. But if you do a video, let's just say a Seventh-day Adventist does a video against, I don't know, a Jehovah's Witness. Now that's considered hate speech though.
Exactly. There's been, this song called "Childish." No, it's called "This Is America." Sorry, by Childish Gambino.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Showing him kill an entire church choir. That's not hate speech, but I make a video talking about certain groups of people that I disagree with. That's hate speech,
Oh, and hey, look, we speak from experience. We've had, I mean, the countless times, the YouTube, flag it down, claim, well, that's promotes violence and hate speech. I mean, what the hell? How the hell does that even make any sense? And then what they're doing now is a lot of the times they're also, flagging it, calling it bullying as well.
Even though they're doing this, it's still no excuse to sell out. Like, people like Mark Dice, he stopped making conspiracy videos and just jumped on the Trump bandwagon. There's no, that's no excuse for that.
Oh, I did want to ask you this. What is your thoughts about the the whole flat Earth thing? What are your thoughts about that?
I have no opinion. I don't think really anybody can know if the Earth is flat or not because nobody's really seen it.
Have you looked into it before?
No, I really haven't looked into it that much. I don't really have a big interest in it.
Oh, okay. No, that's respectable. Hey, man, I recommend you look into that though, man. There's a lot of good information on that, man. So I'd recommend you check that out. Go ahead.
With that being said, I do believe that we've been lied to about our history and science. Like, I believe there's giant skeletons. I believe dinosaurs existed with humans.
Now this is going to open up an interesting conversation. If you don't mind, I would like to continue our conversation because I believe I'll be able to probably go maybe half an hour longer or something like that. So if you don't mind, I'd like to have you here with me. We can talk about these things. Okay, so you brought up the giant skeletons. I wanted to just point something out real quick. There's a documentary I just watched maybe 2 days ago. I believe it's entitled A Race of Giants. So if anybody wants to watch that, you can just look that up on YouTube. It's called A Race of Giants. A very good documentary. It's about an hour long, so everybody go look that up. But yeah, man, about the giants, I mean, what research have you done on that?
I mean, apparently they've dug up stuff that's just unbelievably huge, and the Smithsonian actually covered it up, from my understanding. But, apparently they're still alive. They're still alive in certain places. I think some people believe that there's fallen angels that are imprisoned in Antarctica, and that's why they're over there. So, it's unbelievable the stuff they're covering up. I think they're covering up these giant skeletons, these giant, some of them may still be alive from the Nephilim, these fallen angels that mated with earthly women and got this started. I think there's dinosaurs that still exist, but, the government's covering all this stuff, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. About the dinosaurs, because you made a statement and said that, that they live with man, which I do agree with you. I do agree with you on that. But, what are your thoughts about that? What information can you give, the audience, about that, if any of them be interested?
Yeah. So from my understanding, there has been painting there's been carvings of human beings interacting with dinosaurs, right? And I think the first dinosaurs were discovered in the 1800s.
Yeah, the
so,
first. Sorry to cut you off. But yeah, they were discovered. The first dinosaur bones were discovered in the 1800s. So I always bring that point out because you have these stones. I believe they're called the Inca stones, right? Everybody can just type that into YouTube, the Inca stones, and you'll see it. What they are is basically they're like Indians or ancient peoples. We're not even really ancient because these are like 1,000 years old, if not even that old. But it just shows people on there, and they're with dinosaurs. So it's like, hold on a second. How the hell do you have people on there with dinosaurs if dinosaurs were not even discovered until the 1800s? And even if they did discover the bones, how the hell can they show them on there alive if they just had the bones back in those times? It just doesn't add up.
Exactly, and keep in mind, this was supposedly, this is ancient times. This was before we had the same technology that we do now, so they wouldn't even know what these dinosaurs looked like. Yet they're sitting here in these carvings, interacting with them, hunting them. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a huge cover-up that the government's done, the existence of dinosaurs with human beings.
Yeah, because we'll talk about the whole evolution thing for a few minutes. Because hey, look, if it comes out to be true, which the evidence points to it, being true, that if dinosaurs, did live, among men, as the evidence suggests, well, that clearly rules out the whole evolution thing because human beings were not supposed to come around until millions, tens of millions of years, after the dinosaurs went extinct. So they gotta question the whole teaching that they're teaching in these schools. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. They've lied to us about a lot of things at school, I think.
All right. So what are your whole may I say thoughts on the whole evolution thing?
I think it's just we're talking, when you say evolution, we're talking about the idea that we came from tadpoles and monkeys and all that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's absolute nonsense. No evidence for it. It's just what school don't tell you about science is science in reality isn't fact. Most of it is just theory. Hence why they call it the theory of evolution. Yet it appears a lot of schools are promoting it like it's fact, and I just that's indoctrination, that's brainwashing,
Oh yeah, absolutely. The truth is, man, the real way to become educated, really is to have hands-on experience with things. Like, let me just give an example, man. Somebody, let's just say, if somebody wants to learn to become a survivalist or an outdoorsman, and if they never actually go out and use the skills that they claim they have in the wild, they just read books and watch videos. Even though that's good to do that, but if you never get out there and have experience with doing those things, well then it's not really gonna teach you much. Even though you are reading the books and watching videos, that's good. But if you don't have the hands-on experience, that's where the real learning comes in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. Anything else you'd like to bring up, man?
Let's see here. I'm not sure, man.
Let me bring this up. What is your whole what are your whole thoughts on Great Millstone for right now, GMS?
Yeah, I really would have to look into that more before making a solid conclusion on it.
All right, I'll respect that, man. I'll respect that. But getting back to the whole Babylon thing, you were saying last year, right, that that Babylon was the Roman Catholic Church, right? So what were some of your other reasons that you can share with us that why you changed your your viewpoint on that?
Yeah, I think it's just what I felt. That it's just something kind of like you're just led to certain things, and I think God revealed to me personally the things I saw. This isn't just stuff I've seen on the news and on YouTube about him worshiping Trump, but just the stuff I've seen on Facebook. I have family members that idolize this guy, and it's just so sad, you know. So I think what I've seen online on the news, and then what I've seen with my own personal experience and how mean people are when you say you don't like Trump. It's just, you know.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. You know, let's see. You know, we can speak about the economic thing. Once again, man. I mean, like how are people like doing down in your state right now, man? Are there a lot of tent cities, poor people out on the streets? You see any of that down there?
No. When it comes to going to the big cities, I live in a pretty small town, about 30 minutes away, where a decent sized city is. You can look it up if you want. It's Monroe, Louisiana, sometime. Yeah, it's a pretty decent city, and there's a lot of people out there that are holding up signs wanting money and stuff. But that's been going on way before the
whole Corolla situation. Inside joke.
Yeah. So I think that's always that epidemic. The homeless is always going to be a thing that I think it. I would say it probably increased a little bit since this happened.
Yeah, man. I mean, especially, you have the whole, eviction thing, man. You have, I believe, I want to say maybe 40 million, people in the United States, households that are on the verge of eviction. And the only thing that's, keeping them in their houses is that, the government's, restricted the landlords being able to, kick the, the tenants, out of the houses. Hey, look, man, the country, America is in a bad state right now, man. And I would say, this is what the end, of this empire, just like how Rome fell, it did not happen overnight, but, it's just too similar, what's going on right now, man. It's just, it really is crazy, man. It really is.
Absolutely.
Crazy. I mean, hell, man, if you told somebody, back in, let's say, 2018, that there was going to be, a whole global pandemic and everybody was going to have to be forced to wear masks, they'll tell you what, you're a conspiracy nut. But I mean, hell, look at it now, man. We're a whole entire year into this whole, situation.
Yeah, and, in my opinion, we're going to have more of it,
Yeah, and I'd like to get your thoughts about this, man. I did something interesting. I looked into, the whole history thing. And, if you look at what happened, let's say 100 years ago, let's say 1918, right? They had the whole Spanish flu thing. And, not long after that, you had World War I going on at that time, but not too long after that was the Second World War. Okay, so certain guys out here say what history repeats itself. So it's just everything right now is just lining up, man. There's probably going to be. I won't be surprised if damn World War III starts. Very soon. But time.
Yeah, and I don't think at this point anybody else would be surprised, because I think we've all come to accept how crazy everything is since that happened.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. You have any, crazy conspiracies for us, or anything you'd like to mention of that sort that might be interesting?
Yeah, I just think that you may have heard of it before, Project Bluebeam. The idea that
yes. Which actually, hey, Ridge. Actually, what is ironic is my first YouTube video ever that I did was actually on Project Bluebeams. That brings back some memories. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But just in case there's somebody listening who doesn't, could you go ahead and explain what that is for us?
Yeah. So basically, it's the idea that all these religious figures are going to come down as holograms and kind of start the New World Order. So I think that that's something that could be happening sooner or later, and I think that Trump is going to come back into office, and the Antichrist has a deadly head wound, and that could be metaphorical to Trump not winning the election, and coming back. So I just think when things are probably going to unfold. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of hologram symbolism. Even in the Super Bowl, there was a hologram of a man in a robe. So they were basically showing predictive programming for Project Bluebeam. So yeah, I just think a lot of stuff's going to be unfolding pretty soon.
Yeah, man. Yeah. If you don't mind, I'd like to, like ask you, a couple of questions, regarding your views of, like say, the skip cheese inside joke, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, one question I did want to ask you is, do you hold to the belief that, that salvation is for everybody, or just like the Israelites?
I'll hold it to the belief that it's for everybody.
Okay. All right. I'll respect that. I'll respect that. Um, yeah, I do gotta ask you this one. No, I do gotta ask you this one. Um, because I brought this up to you before, so I want to know if you changed your, belief on this. But what about the whole black Jesus thing? What are your thoughts on that now?
Um, I'm going to say that Jesus isn't this pale white person. From my understanding, what is it? The Borgia family, right?
Yes,
The
yes.
member of the Borgia family was
I believe it.
capable.
Sorry to cut you off, but I believe it was Cesare Borgia.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to say for now he's probably a way tanner person than he's presented. But I'm not going to say he's full on black. But to me, it doesn't really matter anyway.
All right, all right. I'll respect that. One thing I did want to ask you, which if you don't want to answer some of these questions, I will respect that. But I just wanted like get your viewpoint, of them because I'm not sure of your stance right now. But what would your thoughts be about let's say for an example, right, in Revelation chapter 2 and verse 20, I want to say 26. It says to him that overcomes, he'll gain power over the nations and will rule them with a rod of iron. What is your interpretation of scriptures like that?
I would have to look more into the context before commenting.
Okay, okay, I'll respect that, but make sure you look into that, man. Make sure you look into that because a very interesting conversation could start off that. Which, ironically, I am trying to hook up with a local Christian pastor. I want to say Catholic priest, to have a conversation with him about these questions, because a lot of guys, these churches, man, a lot of them are, excuse my language, but a lot of them are full of shit. All right, they'll be there to, be there to take your money. That's something that they'll do, but to actually, give you the truth, that's something that they won't do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Has it worked? Was you able to get in contact with us?
I gave them a call. I want to say on Sunday I gave them a call, and they said they'd touch me again. They'd which that's an inside joke. they'll give me a phone call, right, or reach back to me, and try to work something out with me. But I asked to speak to the priest, so I'll secretly record the conversation, and that'll be very interesting, because it'd be very interesting to have such a conversation, a Hebrew Israelite versus a Catholic priest. Now that's something I would pay money to watch.
Yeah.
So hey man, how is your, like, if you don't mind I ask, like, how is your silver stacking going? I mean, how much have you been able to benefit off that?
I haven't got much more than, I want to say I got about 10 ounces this year, but I've been trying more or less to invest in gold more.
You have any gold?
Yeah, I got a half-gram gold bar. I got a gold back, which is like this plastic polymer with gold put in it. And I got an ancient gold coin, another one. So.
Oh yeah, I seen that coin. How much was that?
I want to say $450.
Damn, damn man, 450. I'd be considered rich if I had that kind of money. Hey, look, man. As I said, you might wear Gucci. I wear Dollar General, and I'm not even being sarcastic.
Hey, some of the richest people dress the most modest because that's how they keep their money.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. Some of these richer people, what they do. I mean, it's hard to believe, but it is true. They shop at some of these thrift stores, lower end short stores like that. But some of these, poor people, especially black, so-called black people, when they get money, they'll go, blow that like that. Be buying damn, like say for an example. Go ahead.
There's people out there that are buying like $500 shoes, watches, and they're poor.
Oh, I should bring this up. Have you seen? Sorry to cut you off. You can continue it after I mention this. But since you mentioned shoes, I did want to bring up. Have you seen those new Nike Satan shoes?
Yeah, I actually did a YouTube video about
and
that.
What? Okay. Do you mind like sharing some information about them if you know? So in case anybody's listening who doesn't know.
From my understanding, there's human blood on it.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. There's a drop of human blood in the sole of the shoe or something like that.
666 of them were made, and there's a Bible verse on there, Luke 10:18, I think so.
Yeah. It just shows you, man. It just shows you. Which I actually seen a review on those shoes, and believe it or not, a lot of the comments were negative towards it. And it was 10,000 likes, but 15,000 dislikes on the video I seen. So a lot of people don't like that. Which that's a good thing. That's good that people ain't buying them. But I will say this: out of the 666 that were made, as far as I know, all of them did sell. So you got somebody out there, 666 people, who actually have $1,018 is what they cost. Sitting around. So, I mean, damn, $1,018 for a damn pair of shoes. I mean, who the hell has that kind of money?
Yeah, I believe a long time ago I seen this woman out there, holding up a sign wanting money, and she has a kid with her, and then she reaches in her pocket and pulls out like an iPhone or something, and it's like, wow, so that's what I'm saying. Some of these really poor people, they're buying stuff to look rich, and then some really rich people, dress the most modest.
Oh yeah, man, and that's where the trap comes in, and let's say for an example, buying a used car versus buying a brand new car. It'd be foolish to buy a brand new car unless you're a millionaire or something, or got a ton of money. Then it's understandable. But if you're poor ass bastard like myself, side joke. But it's much more beneficial to buy a used car as long as you have it checked out, make sure it's all fine. So pay $2,000, $3,000 up front, so you don't got to pay $25,000 to $50,000, if not more, for a new car.
You could put all that money you would have bought to a new one to buy like gold and silver, and then you make more money. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. And I'll say this, man. I've seen a lot of these guys when they got the whole stimulus check thing. They went out and they blew that on flat screen TVs, somebody, I'm sure some people probably spent a check on those new Satan shoes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pathetic, man.
Yeah, man. It's completely, it's unbelievable, the stuff, we got going on right now, man.
Yeah.
I did want to ask you this, what's going on with that 2-liter J guy?
I haven't talked to him in a little while, but yeah, he's still been making YouTube videos.
Have you talked to that guy on the phone before?
Yeah.
All right. Did he mention anything about me? What is his beef with me? Because he doesn't like me for some reason.
Well, I don't really want to get into that. I don't want to share personal stuff.
Is it something bad or like?
No, it's not. It's just some small things. I just don't want to be a gossiper.
Oh, I will respect that. I understand. I will respect that. We'll see. Hey, look, man. We're let's go for a little bit more, man. Let's go for another 15 minutes, and when we'll cross that hour mark already. It's already been 45 minutes.
Wow. Are you gonna cut this video into pieces?
No, I'll be able to upload it completely raw, just like completely straight.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, man, because I want to get your view on this. When you deal with the 7 days of creation, right? Are you under the assumption is that 7 actual days, or how do you look at that? Because from my perspective, I would teach, and I do teach, that those 7 days represent each day represents 1,000 years. And the reason I say that is because if you go to, the book of Peter, I believe it's 2 Peter 3:8 or something like that, it says that one day with the Lord is as 1,000 years. So from our understanding, those days represent 1,000 years for each day. What is your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, to me, when it comes to things like that, it's just a 50-50 chance. Either way, because there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that don't make sense, a lot of metaphors. So I would say that, some people choose to debate things that in the end just don't matter. I think you just have to accept some things are beyond human comprehension,
Right. I understand that. What is your thoughts about the whole, hell thing?
I do believe in an eternal hell, but I do believe it's only for the devil and his minions. So I don't believe some average guy that didn't accept Jesus is going to be burning forever. I don't believe that God is like that.
All right, I'll accept that. Is may I ask, does hell exist right now on Earth, or is it like where is it? May I ask?
I think that this world is pretty much heaven and hell. It's what you make of it right now.
And I'd say you're right on that. Actually, you are right because our teaching, as Hebrew Israelites, we teach that the hell in the scriptures, right? The scriptures inside you means a condition, or a stage of of suffering, and the proof of that would be for an example, Jonah chapter 2 verse 2, right? Jonah cried from out of the belly of the fish, but he called the belly of fish hell. So that proves, just for one example, that hell in the Bible represents a condition, so not an actual place from our understanding. So what would your thoughts be about that information?
Yeah, I think that that's a really good point. Some people go through literal the worst stuff imaginable in this world. Like that case you've seen with Daisy's destruction. It's unspeakable what some people, including little children, like babies, had to go through. So, yeah, I mean, there is pure evil in this world, So,
yeah, I hear you, man. May I ask though? May I ask? And this might be, a little touchy subject, but I did want to bring this up to you because the verse. What is that? Psalms 137, verse 8 and verse 9. What is your thoughts about that? Why would God, be with that? What is your interpretation of that?
I always seen it as it's not God commanded them, but it's talking about what other people are going to do.
All right. If that's the case, if you go to Ezekiel, chapter 9 and verse 6, it says the Lord commanded I believe it was the angels or the men of the city to go throughout the city and to slay the women and little children. What would your thoughts be about
that?
As I
said, I don't believe in the Old Testament anyway, so.
Oh, if you don't mind, I'd like to, talk to you about that, for, our last, 10 minutes or something, because that's actually very
I would just say that, we've done maybe 2 1-hour videos covering this topic, so.
Well, can I just ask, are you still under the assumption that Satan's the God of the Old Testament?
I wouldn't want to cover that again, man. We've done.
Oh, okay, I understand. I understand, but just so I understand, I'm just asking, just for yes or no. Are you still under that belief, or did you change your mind? Just yes or no would be good.
I'll just say I'm still learning.
Okay, I'll respect that. Because some guys out there, be too ignorant and just will skip over it. But I will respect you that you'll address it. And hey, look, man, I hope in the future we can maybe have a civilized maybe debate or conversation about some of these topics, man. Because I would enjoy to have a conversation, a debate with you, a respectful conversation, about some of these topics. Yeah. I think you're very intelligent. Just like that guy, Brother Polite. Yeah, he's a very intelligent man. You know who that is?
No, that name sounds really familiar. But...
Yeah, he's that guy who, who's down there in New York debating Tahar. The black guy.
Yeah. Do you like, I'm trying to think of his name. I don't forgot his name, but, yeah, I don't forgot his name.
All right, we're at the 50-minute mark, so we'll go for another 10 minutes to even it off at an hour here. So let's see.
I'm going to have to leave now, man. Bye.
Okay, all right, I'll see you around, man. All right, well, he had to, leave a little early then. I, apologize about that. I was going to, try to, take it off to an hour there. But, anyway, I apologize about that. He had to apparently leave. So, that's all right. I enjoyed this, discussion about, 50 minutes. I only expected to go maybe 25 minutes with him. But we made it to about an hour. So, that was, a respectable conversation. So, if anybody would like to, check that brother's channel out, you can find a link in the description box down below to that channel. So yeah, if you have any questions, regarding, anything in this video, you can feel free to, ask down in the comment section down below. But anyway, I hope that was an enjoyable discussion. If anybody made this far into it, put hashtag, let's just say put hashtag, let's put hashtag moonpie in the comment section down below. Once again, if you made this far into the video, hashtag moonpie down below. I'm going to say shalom.